And here we are, another walkie talkie. The weather's not quite as bad as it was yesterday. I know you like my weather updates. I think people just get the weather update and then click off and do something else. I don't blame you really. But no, it's a bit blustery, but at the moment it's not raining, and it better not bloody rain either, because I haven't got my umbrella with me. So it better behave itself. So, what to talk about today? Well, it's actually quiet on the gaming news front. Nothing too exciting is happening. Game-wise, personally, I bought Lies of P. That was on sale on Amazon for the PS5. So I'd heard a lot of good things about it. So I got that and started to play it. And it's been really good. It's a Souls-like game, but it's a very good Souls-like game. And so far, I've enjoyed it. What's actually a little different about this one than some of the other Souls-likes is you can change the difficulty. And that doesn't appear to have created any kind of issue with people. It defaults to what you would call a standard Souls-like game setting, pretty tough. But you can scale it back. And, when you think about it, is that a problem for Souls-like games to do that? And it kind of set me thinking a little bit. There's a real outcry against that. A lot of people seem to object to them changing the difficulty levels for those type of games in terms of scalability. And personally speaking, I can see why that a lot of the game publishers, like from FromSoft, off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the guy who basically runs the Soulsborne games. His name escapes me. He sort of like wants these games to be really tough and challenging. God, why do I do this to myself? And yet, those people that sort of suggest, well, why don't you make their various difficulty settings in the game so it's more accessible to those who are perhaps not as good at these games, they tend to be met with quite a bit of derision. It's the whole get good thing. I know I'm way behind the curve with this, but I'm talking about this, but it's still relevant. And I'm not too bad at these games. I've finished Demon Souls, Dark Souls. I haven't finished Dark Souls 3 yet, but Bloodborne, I've finished that. I do like the really high challenge, the high difficulty challenge. especially when it comes to the bosses. There's a real sense of achievement. I had a boss battle in Bloodborne where it literally come down to who was going to land the last blow was going to win, and I think I did it by like 1,000th of a second, and the sense of achievement there was fantastic. But I have had the time and the willingness to invest that time into getting good at them games, into learning the patterns and playing the boss battles over and over again. Squirrel! He's on the forage. As long as he don't forage on top of my head, I'll be alright. Yeah, up the tree goes. Well, we're down the lane again, and so I'll see you in the park. So yeah, the game difficulty, I suppose we may call this the topic of today, and it's a real thorny one, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's not an easy fix. Not an easy fix at all. When you think about just simply saying to somebody to get good at playing a game, is that enough of a reason to not include varying difficulty settings on some of these games? And then you think, well, if you do that, are you then taking something away from what the game was intended to be, which was difficult, which was a tough challenge? I mean, coming from the gaming generation where games were just most of the time phenomenally difficult because there was probably only about half an hour of game actually there. A lot of them were just based on arcade games, and they were very tough by the nature of the fact that they wanted you to keep pumping money into the machine. So that nature of getting money out of your pocket, making the game tough, but still enjoyable enough to encourage you to keep playing, was that balancing act. A lot of arcade machines did achieve that balance. And the other thing as well is you would reach a point where you did get good and you were able to beat the arcade machine on fewer credits. I mean, my God, you look at the people that have the world record, they literally put 1 credit in and can play these things through to the death screen, you know, with the people that get the high scores. Because the moment that you lose all your lives, in a lot of arcade machines, the high score table, your high score would reset. So in order to get the world record, you'd have to do it on 1 credit. I don't know how much money they spent in order to achieve that. I'm not sure, but it certainly was possible and is possible. I find it fascinating that there can, I think it's a fascinating discussion really, because it's very much down to the individual as to what side of the fence that you sit on. Personally speaking, I'm not overly bothered. However, I can see the argument on both sides. There are those that say, well, I want to play this game, but I want to play it at a difficulty level that reflects my skill. And on the flip side of that, there are those that say, well, I want to play a game and I want it to be overly tough so I can keep playing it and improve my skills. Here we go. And improve my skills to the point where I do, quote unquote, get good. You're never going to improve your abilities if you're playing constantly within your comfort zone. So it actually comes down to, what do you play games for? What's the overriding reason for gaming? Got a magpie meeting going on here. And that is always going to be the decisive factor in determining what side of the fence that you sit on with it all. Oh, magpies up in the tree. And like I say, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think games can do both. I think they can be both entertaining to play, but also offer a challenge enough for you to improve your skills. I always want to improve my skills. So I don't mind a game being tough, but there are some games that are off-puttingly tough. Is it Sekiro? I don't know how you pronounce this, Sekiro. It's a Souls-like game. And I just can't get into it because there's a heavy emphasis in that game on parrying and counter-attacking. Now, I'm not overly great at that. Parrying is not, timing parries, I have tried. I find it frustrating, and I think it also depends on how well the game has been coded to initiate those parries. And I must confess, I can't get into it. Now, it's an excellent game. There's no two ways about it. It's a fantastic looking game. It's very well programmed, but it is different to the other Soulsborne games by From Software. Like I say, there is that heavier emphasis on parrying and counters. That greater emphasis on that sort of sword play. And I'm not good at it. And I have tried and tried and tried to the point where I'm just like, nah, kind of off-put. I went off to play something else. Like I say, I got Lies of P. I much prefer the gameplay mechanics for that. Even though that does have a difficulty settings on it, I do prefer Lies of P. I prefer is it the Lost Hero of Nostalgia? Good God, my pronunciations are terrible today. Now, I like that. That's tough. That's a tough game. And I enjoy that. It's a sort of an indie game, Souls-like. So there are subtle differences within them that actually do affect my enjoyment of them. And yeah, I do find it somewhat Sekiro. I guess what I kept wanting to call it. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I find that frustrating to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not playing it anymore. I'm done with that. You know, I'll play something else. And I've tried to get into it. So if there was a way of changing that game, maybe, you know, if there was a way of changing the difficulty on that game, is that necessarily going to make the game more playable, or is it just going to be like giving me more life? I don't think that would make any difference. Actually landing hits on some of the enemies, the tougher enemies, you know, they're parrying you and countering you. So I'd probably just die, but take a little bit longer to die. That, you know what I mean? So it's a real tough one. I don't think there's a clear-cut, definitive answer for that. I think lowering the difficulty settings, or giving you options to lower the difficulty settings, maybe you take less damage when you get hit. You know, the enemy maybe uses less special moves against you. Again, I'm not sure whether that will make any difference to the experience that you'll have with it. I don't know. I'd just say, in that instance, I would really love to get on in that game. You know, I've bought a game that I can't get on with. And I suppose that's the risk you take, isn't it? It's kind of what happens when you buy anything, when you buy a game or whatever. I did read reviews and I just didn't think it would be, you know, and I watched videos and thought, yeah, I can get to grips with that. But, oh no, I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling. Take a tree branch to the face. Lovely. That wasn't what I had planned, by the way, video-wise. That's not what I had planned. It was just something that came to mind while I was talking about what games I was playing. I put up a post on X about FC 26. By God, that is one bad game. I'm really disappointed with that. I couldn't even get in the game yesterday into the single player manager mode. Couldn't get in. Every time I was going in, it just kept, the game was loading in fine. I'd get to the main menus fine. And then I'd load in the manager mode, where you play as a player, manager basically. And it just kept coming up with a QR code in the top left corner of the screen. Nothing else. I couldn't click off it, couldn't go back, couldn't do anything. It happened about 3 or 4 times. Eventually it went away. God alone knows why. I'm pretty much done with it. I mean, the game, when you get in it, it's glitchy, it's bug-ridden, it's very janky, it's appallingly coded. There's not necessarily game breaking, but certainly game ruining bugs within the game. I've got players who are leaving that I've sold, then complaining that I've not give them a new contract. I've just sold. I mean, you have to wait until the transfer window opens, so it's a contract deal. I've sold those players. I've given players a new contract, given them what they've wanted to keep them at the club, and then I get a message from the player, like, you know, a couple of games later, saying that they were disappointed that I had not negotiated a new contract with them and they want to leave. This fundamentally ruins that mode of the game because you can't build a team. I've had a player who's been out injured, couldn't play, wasn't available for selection, then want to leave because I've not been playing him. How can I play the player who's out of the game injured? It's utter garbage. It's trash. It's junk. It's one of the worst football games, whether you want to call it FIFA or FC, whatever you want to call it, it's irrelevant. It's one of the worst I've ever played. It's just, I don't even know what tier of garbage to call it. This is a full price AAA game. It's one of the flagship titles that Electronic Arts releases, and it's junk. It just is junk. There's no other way to describe it. I'd have to go back to, like, I don't even know when I've ever played a FIFA game that has had that many issues in it. There was a period where its main flaw was the fact that it didn't really play a very good game of football. It was, you know, it was a bit trashy from that perspective, but there was always a degree of quality to it, you know, polish to it. Now, dear Lord, I mean, it's just staggeringly crap. I can't really find another way of describing it. Last night I was just sat there. I mean, eventually the game gracefully allowed me to start playing. Again, I can't identify what the issue was, simply because of the fact that it was a QR code. The game didn't even know why it wasn't functioning in of itself. Congratulations, EA. This is what happens when you don't have competition. Electronic Arts used to have Pro Evolution Soccer from Konami to contend with, and FIFA, as it was then known, before it fell out with FIFA and then changed its name to FC. It's the same game, just different name. As it starts to rain. Marvellous. Yeah, same game as FIFA. It's just a name change. Yeah, it's just it doesn't make you want to play it. Why invest time in something that's broken? I think you have to have a special level of ability to break something that wasn't broken, but not only break it in so many areas. How do you achieve that? and it won't get fixed. They'll tickle around the edges. Most of the updates that I've seen appear to focus in and around the Ultimate Team crap, the online crap, because that is crap. You know, you go on YouTube and you can see countless videos of people complaining, really complaining about how rubbish the online is. People cheating, people quitting, you know. I've seen videos of players about to score and they quit, then the other player quits. You know, I don't have any tolerance for that. I don't understand why anyone would want to invest any time in playing such tripe online anyway, but people do. EA need to hang their head. They won't hang their head in shame, they don't care. I mean, what competition have they got? Like I've said before when I made another video about it. I mean, since I made that video, I think there's been 2 or 3 updates that have fixed nothing, as usual. They fixed nothing with the single player mode that is an absolute broken glitch fest. If I'd have bought that from a physical media store, I would have taken it back and got my money back. I wouldn't have left the store until they did it, because it is fundamentally broken. It doesn't work properly. It's not fit for purpose. If you can't get in the game, a lot of the time you can't even get in the damn thing, then it is broken and it isn't fit for purpose. So I won't be buying that ever again. I just hope that somebody else out there has the resources and the sense to make a competitor. I do like my football games, but I won't be buying any FC or FIFA, whatever they want to call it in future. I won't be buying it ever again. Disappointing. Waste of money. And I don't understand why anyone would even spend any more money on the crappy Ultimate Team part of it. Why give this junk tier company any more of your money? And I don't like using that, but they are junk. I've no interest in buying a new Battlefield game, to be honest with you. Why would I? I keep hoping that this new ownership might fix things, but I doubt it. It'll probably go worse. Whenever there's a massive takeover like that, these companies, they just want to get as much revenue in, as quick a return on the investment as possible. So I don't foresee there being any sort of quality whatsoever. The best I can hope for is that they reissue some classic games that work on modern systems, but I think any of them, that would require minimal effort. Just to make them compatible. I'd be happy just to have the Strike series exactly how they were, look how they were, play how they were, but just work on a modern system. I don't want a remake, I don't want a remaster, anything. I don't want that. Just release the damn thing. I'll get that, but don't tamper with it, because you'll wreck it. Because I don't think they're capable of doing anything these days without wrecking something. And it's a sad attitude to have, I understand that. But evidence supports that statement. I mean, look at the hell of issues that they had with the Master Chief Collection, for God's sake. When they brought that out, what was it, 2015, 2016, whenever they released it on the Xbox One and on PC, dear God, the issues they had. with that. I mean, apparently the issues were so bad that it actually affected the development of Halo 5. I completely see that, if that was the case. For God's sake, why can't they get things right? Apparently, I don't know, because I've not got it, but I'm hearing reports with the Mortal Kombat trilogy that's come out. There's issues with that. What is wrong with these people? What's wrong with these companies? For God's sake, you're not making the game. It's already made. The standards these days, not just in gaming, but across the board, is absolutely woeful. Movies, games, you name it. Dear God, the decline in standards is unbelievable. Every sodding game that comes out needs a day one patch just so the bloody thing will work. Well, then it's not ready, is it? It's not ready to be released. So don't release it. Don't release it. Finish the sodding thing. Have some respect for your consumers. Have some respect from the people that you call your fans. How can you call them your fans when you treat them with utter disdain and respect? I would be embarrassed to acknowledge that these people were my fans and I'm producing garbage tier products at premium prices and foisting them out there, launching them out the door in a state that they're launching stuff these days. It's absolutely pathetic. Bloody, bloody hell. I don't know. Like I say, they actually break things that haven't been broken before. How do you do that? How would you do that? Codemasters with their F1 game, my God, they're notorious. They will take virtually the entire life cycle of their annual release to fix the problems. They release the next version the next year and the same problems are back. Quite often, the same issues are back. How do you do that? How do you do that? How are you that rubbish? How are you that crap? You've already fixed it and you release a new version of it and the issues are back again. There's still issues in the F1 game that they released this year, back in the summer. The F1 season's about to finish. And there's still issues in that game. There's still issues that you can be on a straight outside of the DRS zone and still a car, you can be in a McLaren and a frigging bloody, whatever the hell it's called now, not Toro Rosso, that's what they used to be called, whatever the hell they're called now, RBR I think it is or something, not the Red Bull team, it's the teams normally at the back end, come catching right up to you and blast past you as if you're driving a bloody, well, as if you're riding on a push bike. Can't even think of a car that would be slow enough. And they just roar past you and you're going flat out. That is not possible. That problem has been in and out of the Formula One game ever since Codemasters got it. How can they not fix it? How are you that rubbish? How can you not fix it? How do you fix it and then bring it back again for the following year when you do manage to fix it? on the rare occasion that they have. It just puts you off playing it. It's like, what's the point? What's the point? Why am I investing my time in this? There's so many other games out there that are more worthy of your time. It's just, again, another EA game. But in EA's defense, this was like this with Codemasters before EA got their hands on the company. But I knew it wasn't going to improve, it would only get worse. They're too busy focused on crap like this Bitcoin junk, Ultimate Team junk. That's what it is, it's just junk. That's to take money out of people's pockets after they've already spent premium price on the game. That's all they're interested in. But the game itself is shit. You know, I went back to playing the F1 game this past few days, having not played it for a while. Noticed there'd been a series of patches and just amazed at how they've not done a sodding thing to fix the major issues that people have had. They might claim that they have. Oh, we fixed this, you know, insignificant thing that nobody noticed, that nobody was really bothered about, but we fixed that. But stuff that actually ruins the experience of playing the game, nah, still in there. It's almost like they either can't be bothered because it'd be too much effort, or they lack the skill set to do it, in which case hire somebody who does have the skill set. Bloody hell, Turn 10 has just been decimated by Microsoft. Hire some of them to work on your racing engine, the racing mechanics. Say what you like about the lack of content in the Forza games, but their racing model has been absolutely superb. But they won't. But that's what I would do. And again, in that field, it's lack of competitiveness in the F1 market space because of licensing. No one else is making an F1 game, you know, as a serious F1 game to compete. So again, it's just junk. Just rush stuff out the door, you know, in whatever broken, pathetic state that it might be in. Cutting and pasting lines of code over that's broken, and then, you know, in the hope that people will still buy the product. And, you know, hey, guess what? They do, don't they? I won't be though. You know, I'm pretty done with it. You get bored. You get bored of dealing with it. God, it was never like this. It was never like this. Anyway, oh yeah, that's probably it for today, to be honest. I didn't really have a subject with which to talk about. It turned into a bit of a moan, didn't it? But then again, that's what I've been playing, or fighting to play for the past few days. And it just makes you laugh, really. These companies making so much money and putting out junk level products that half the time you can't even play them. I mean, you can't even get in the bloody game to play it, and there's not even an explanation. There's just this crappy little QR code in the corner of the screen. Like, what's it supposed to do with that? Scanning it in takes you to a bloody website. It doesn't tell you what the fault is with the game. No, it's a website that's associated with EA, that's trying to sell you shit for Ultimate Team. It's just, that's God level trolling, that is. I think it's just reflective of where we are in general. Quality is a rarity these days, isn't it? Anyway, pretty done with that. Now it's stopped raining, of course, so I'm going to bugger off before it starts again. And I don't know about tomorrow, because I've got a hospital appointment for blood tests, so the next couple of days there might not be a video. I might try and stick a Doom video up, Resurrection of Evil. I've started to play through that. I've got one video in the tank left with that, and then I'm out of that. I'll have to start recording more footage of that when I can, but yeah, that'll do for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.